and then I'm going to share it. Okay, so everybody's going to get a request to a consent to the recording, and then we will upload it on our YouTube channel and everywhere else. So we started recording the first meeting between Dr. Marzban, who's our new Director of Research and Academic Affairs at Larkin Community Hospital. We're going to have this meeting on a monthly basis. The purpose of the meeting is to orient you regarding what the activities are going on in the team. As you know, Dr. Marzban is trying to put a context together, like a roadmap, and the purpose of it is to assist you with, especially people that don't have experience in participating in research. If you already have a group that you're comfortable working with, and you're already generating, you have the internal ability to basically peer review your own projects before you can submit them to a journal, you're welcome to continue to do that work. There's nothing that, this is not meant to stop you from doing what you're doing. If you already have groups going on, that's perfect. This is only meant to help you, for those of you that need a little bit more assistance. We're going to be adding these resources just only to help you, not to interrupt anything. So please proceed with all your projects. We just want to make sure that before you submit to a journal that you do have an internal process within your team of experienced people that can critically look at it, especially there's no copying and pasting from other sites and things like that. Just because we want to maintain the integrity of the submissions. So if you have questions before submitting something, just please feel free to ask us. But if you already have, I know several groups that work well together that are very active, and we don't. The last thing we want to do is to slow you down or stop you. So having said that, I'll yield to Dr. Marzban, who joined us only recently, and she's in charge of all of the research activities for Larkin Health System, which includes both hospitals and our 40 residency programs. Dr. Marzban. I think you're muted. Dr. Marzban, I don't know if you can hear me. Minnie, I think there's something wrong with.
She's frozen, looks like.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, you're still muted there.
Dr. Michelle, looks like she's frozen.
No, I think it's the connectivity from her, from where she's calling from. Here we go. Hi, can you hear us? I think she's having some issues. Let's give her a couple of minutes to.
Yeah, she sent a message that it is unstable. Her internet is unstable. Dr. Seema.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I think.
Because you have to log in.
Okay, Lenny.
Because you have to log into the computer, and after you log to the internet is really bad here. That's why.
Yeah.
The same thing happened to me. I had to take off my.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Michelle, for this opportunity you provided for all of participants here. And that's my pleasure to be here with you all, having this opportunity to support you, to mentor your projects, to experience a great collaboration from all our participants from all over countries around the world. And I'm hopeful that we will move forward with this collaboration, with this great teamwork together, with ethical considerations and professional values that we are committed to it, under the supervision of Dr. Michelle, the founder of the Larkin Health University and Community Hospital. So that would be a great opportunity for all of us to experience is the huge network collaboration with together and go forward with synergism and helping each other to obtain great goals and success together. So I asked Sujan to start the presentation. We will have a very helpful interactive presentation with all of the pioneers that helped this team to be in this position that right now you're seeing. This is a great experience during 2 years ago that they helped the team and they conducted the team and they provided the opportunity to help the others to mentor each other and establish teams for this research opportunity for all of IMGs from different countries, from different time zones. So right now we are looking forward to have this presentation with Sujan, Jinal, Arhola, Isha, Jinal, and all of others who helped us, who helped Team 11 to have this great success.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shima. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today in our first official Team 11 meeting. I'm Dr. Paudel, an international medical graduate, currently working as a coordinator for the Larkin Neurology Research Team and enrolled as a clinical research student at Harvard Medical School. So the agenda for today's meeting is we're gonna have a brief introduction of what is Team 11 is all about. What do we do here basically, and what do we expect from the team, and what are our short and long-term goals. So without any further delay, I would like to start the PowerPoint presentation. So Team 11 is a group of international medical graduate consisting of more than 1,300 plus members worldwide. So we currently have an active 25 plus group based on the specialty. And the main idea about the Team 11 is to provide a mentorship for every individuals so that we can have a better idea of research writing and also providing a good interactive connection with the Larkin professionals so that it's a good learning opportunity for all of us, starting from the research writing to all the way to submission and publication process. So I would like to invite Dr. Michel to talk few words about the vision and mission of Team 11.
Thank you, Sujan. So, I mean, as you all know, or many of you know, the way that this team started was very spontaneous. As a result of the pandemic, many medical students, especially international medical graduates, were taking out of rotations in the Northeast and everywhere in the country because of the COVID pandemic. And we decided to create a platform whereby they could productively spend their time. We initially started with contact tracing, and then that led on to this research team. You know, I think what's made this team successful is the fact that we don't have preconceived notions we haven't made it burdensome. I think we have lacked, you know, organizationally, the type of roadmap that Dr. Seema has put together. And I think it's useful for you to have all these resources available to you. So, you know, having said that, I'm just very proud. So far, we've had 66 publications this year to date. I think the highest number of publications for Larkin Health System overall was last year at 67. So today, I mean, we're not even finished with August yet, and there's 66 publications, many of them coming from this group. That doesn't include poster presentations and all kinds of other projects that you guys have been involved with. So I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of what you've put together. I just want you to know we're always going to be supportive of the team. We're trying to basically incorporate the team into our residency programs so that this way you have a better line of communication both with our residents and our faculty, which I know ultimately, if your goal is to get into residency program training in the United States, these are the people that you need the recommendation letters from, or that you need, to demonstrate that you've been working with. So this, I think, we want to continue to open this opportunity. One of the things we've talked briefly about is that, ultimately we want each of the countries represented, which I believe is almost over 100 countries, to actually be able to get to know each other. I mean, there may be multiple people here from or India, Pakistan, or Ecuador, or they may not even know each other. They came, across the team, and they're members of the team, and they haven't been members for the team for a year, but they don't really understand, who else from their own country is participating. So one of the things we want to do as this develops is to create subgroups for each country, and you're welcome to start that on your own now. You could just put an announcement on Telegram and say, people from the Dominican Republic or Haiti, we're putting in a subgroup. We just to meet each other, to just have a regular meeting where you get to meet each other. Because one of the things we want you to start addressing, I know that you're working in different projects. Some of them are case presentations, some of them are more formal projects, but we are interested in you attempting to at least profile the public health issues in your own country, in your own territory, in your own geographic area. I think that's huge, because it would kind of give Larkin a platform to assist you with doing that. And that could be not just this scholarly activity type of research, where we just do publications, but maybe even paid pharmaceutical research. With Ecuador, we're talking about doing a CRO, and obviously all of those things, are helpful, because if they generate funding, we could use some of that funding to improve our resources that we have available to the team. So all of that would stay within the team, so that we can, hopefully it'll help us. We recently had, people presenting, and, there's like 4 or 5 people. We could only afford to help one person. So that this is the type of stuff that I think we could be using funding for. So having said that, I want to yield it back to Sujan.
Thank you, Dr. Michelle and Dr. Saima, for your motivating and encouraging words for young researchers like us. So without any further delay, so now I'd like to invite Dr. Marzban for the next presentation.
Okay, this is the challenging part of the teamwork. Dear all, it's all about people. We are persons with personal values, with personal goals, with relevant culture, original culture of our countries. And right now we should work together. The thing that keeps our efforts together to be efficient and effective is being committed to ethical values and professional values. Types of ethical values, it's about being committed to respect to each other, humility, resilience, diversity, and inclusion. Respecting each other, respecting the relevant values that is rooted in our culture, in our beliefs, thought, and our personal values. But right now, we're going to tie our personal values to a collective value of the team. For example, I'm an IMG. I want to take a position, a residency position, recommendation letter from the Larkin professionals through this collaboration, through these research projects. But I have to be committed to some values of teamwork that are ethical consideration of research, intellectual property and ownership by all who are working on a project and being committed to a collective benefit for all of teams, all of the project teams, all of professionals who are working with together. That's very important in leading this teamwork, in leading this networking through virtual communications. One of the values of this teamwork is how to communicate to each other, how to respond to each other, to what extent we are timely responsive to each other, and how we shared our limitations, how we shared our strengths, how we shared our restrictions before joining a project team with together, and then sharing those ideas, sharing those limitations with together on time through a proper communication platform. For example, letting the other people who are working with you know that what is your time zone, what's your available time for working, how you will communicate with them, and how often you can be available to responding to their emails. And those all communications in a proper way, in an appropriate way that considers inclusion and diversity and respects always, will help you to move forward with your projects and have on-time productions at the end of the day. So those are some ethical values, some professional values. We are physicians, we are leaders, we are educators. We are working at hospitals, in health system in our countries and in the US and everywhere in the globe. But we are committed to be responsive together when we are a part of a project team. We are working with the other people, and we are investing our time to be applied in a project, in a research, production, to publication and everything. Those are very important in our team 11. And I appreciate, I acknowledge everyone who tries to promote these values, who tries to promote this commitment among all of the team 11 members. Thank you, Sujan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saima, for sharing your amazing insight on the teamwork values. So let's proceed forward. So in this slide, this is an overview of all the projects that we have been running in Team 11 based on the specialty. So far we have like 79, roughly 79 total projects that is undergoing in different stages of different stages. Some are in the stages of writing, some are in the stages of public submission. So like Dr. Michel mentioned earlier that we already have achieved a 60 plus publication in the last year. So hopefully we're gonna collaborate with each other more efficiently with our new roadmap ideas, and we will be able to learn and grow from each other in the coming days. So without any further delay, I would like to invite Dr. Jinal for her presentation.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here and a part of a Team 11 member. I would like to first state that this is the only place or a platform that is available in entire world for the researchers all over the world. And it's an exciting opportunity for undergraduates, graduates of medical, osteopathic, pharmacy, nursing school, in short, whoever wants to get the research done, who shares the similar interest in research. It's not limited to only medical students or osteopathic medical students. It's pharmacy and nursing school students are also welcome in Team 11. This program is open to researchers across the world. As I state, it's not locally located. It's a virtual program and it's open to everyone at any corner of the world. Students in the disciplines have opportunity to propose. Anyone from any discipline, the member of the Team 11 have an opportunity to propose their ideas, conduct or share and share their research work in the Team 11. Getting involved is not coming to the point that how we do the research. People get involved, but then it stops. So getting involved is not the only step. Learning, performing, ability to write, learning the procedure, and it's a publication of an article. Up to the publication of every step is important. Please take into consideration that every step of the uh, research project is important for every one of us. Again, this is a venue for networking, learning, enjoying the sense of equality with differences, and achieving the success together. The last line is very important because uh, team can make anything happen. Single person, it's difficult. So, achieving success together is the key point for Team 11. That's what I feel. Yeah. Yes, Sujan, you can carry on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gina. So next slide, we see the overview of the roadmap. So I would like to invite Dr. Shaima for the presentation.
Okay, we reached to the story of roadmap. And NAGRID template, NAGRID roadmap, NAGRID strategy, and how we can work together to have 3 parts of our human resource asset interacting with our research production and publication. We have Larkin professional, Larkin faculty, and in the other side, Team 11, the volunteers for research, and also the Team 11 committee members, Team 11 specialty members, specialty networks to collaborate with us, to have a synergy and to have a joint activity by all of these committees and all of these participants as stakeholders in this journey. We developed a roadmap. In this roadmap, at the left side, you can see the initial idea developers. So we have, for example, people, members from Team 11 that have some ideas of research. They have some concerns, some issues, some challenges in their workplace, in their health system, or something library relevant, like systematic reviews or evidence review, scoping review, and they want to have a contribution with one of research projects. That's the start of the journey. Then the idea should be developed, should be drafted, and turned into one-pager proposal. A short summary of your idea. What's the problem? How is it important? The relevant facts, very summary, very short brief of what is the issue and what would be the suggested intervention, through whom and how. So you should bring the methodology in a very brief version. So in this phase, we don't want you to provide a proposal, only a brief summary of what is the project, ideas, what's behind it, and how you want to intervene, how you want to do your research, through which methodology, and what would be the expected outcome of your research, the measurable outcomes, expectations, or results of the project for your workplace, for the other readers, for everyone that is contributing with this project. It will go to triage committee. The triage committee is assigned to separate the proposals of the projects and assign the project to the other committees. If the research is relevant to public health, if it is a clinical trial, or if it is a QI, quality improvement project, or it is a qualitative research that the idea developer want to explore the ideas through open questions, through interview, through focus group discussions, and have some qualitative data for analysis. Or it is an evidence review, it's a scoping review, it's a systematic review, or non-systematic review, a narrative review. The committee with a broad perspective over all of the methodologies assign the project to one of the committees. Then through the committee that is professionally works with, for example, public health researchers, another version of proposal would be developed. The second version of proposal would be more professional. It goes through details and talk more about the methodology. It goes through measurable outcomes. It goes through how you want to make the intervention or change sustainable, or something beyond the one-pager that initially provided by the idea developer. So that's the way that it goes to DRAA office, which is our office, and I'm director of this office, the research department and academic affairs of Larkin Community Hospital. We will assess the project, the summary of the project, and we will let you know how you can improve it. In some comments, providing review comments on the draft, and mentoring your project. And at the same time, we will connect you to our faculty members, to our chief residents, to our research liaisons who are working in our departments. So that's our role, to review your summary of project and connect you with the people who can support you, who can add the value of your production, who can mentor you scientifically, clinically, or in terms of research methodology. And they can add the value of your writing, because when you have 2 faculties or 3 faculties names on your production, it would add the value and would add the chance of publication for your production. That's our role. Then we will support also your project with writing assistance, with IRB and grant team proposal development assistance, and with submission to appropriate journal, to relevant proper journals who are cost effective. They don't expect you to pay $1,000 for your production, for your manuscript. So we will support you in all these ways, and hopefully at the end of this journey, we have a publication that is timely mannered and managed, and on time it would be published with the support of the team. You see here leadership, communications, collaborations, and interacting work with each other is really important. You can produce your own product. You can write individually yourself in your office or behind your desktop, but the value of teamwork and incorporating other views, scientific additions, and scientific contributions of the faculty, of chief residents, of all of people who have hands on your topic would add the value of your work. And I promise you, if you keep your commitment to maximize the teamwork collaborations, it will work for all of us, Thank you, Sujan.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your amazing insight on how roadmap functions overall. So I'd like to proceed with the presentation. Like Dr. Saima already mentioned about how 3 different areas should function collectively to have an output at the end. So we have one side, we have team 11. In other side, we have DRA office and On another aspect, we have Larkin different specialty specific different Larkin program. So we will be coordinating with three bodies to functions better for the team 11. So I'd like to request Dr. Shaima to proceed with the presentation.
To show how we will work together and how we interact with each other, I'd like to show this structure to you, that the larger circle is all active members in Team 11. So anyone who has a membership with our network can contribute to any research project that is interested in. There is no limitation for all active members to have contribution with one of the projects. So to organize this interaction, we need to have professional research committees. So we selected some people, some of the members with most expertise and skills, but it's open to new persons to contribute to professional research committees. So right now we are sharing with you another email and another survey link to have your contribution with this committee, with these committees, and we will start the committee meetings from next week. So we expect Sujan and the team leads that right now are present here to help us to finalize the committee, the research professional committees, who are around 80 persons right now. They should be 80 persons to start the committee performance. We will have the meeting next week. We expect your maximized collaboration to fill out the survey, to respond the email, and let us know how much you are ready and prepared to mentor the other people. Electing these people doesn't mean that the active members who are the large circle are not active. All of people would be active, would be collaborative with the project teams, but these 80 people only will mentor and support your projects, support your ideas, and help you to move forward to proceed with your project ideas. The other part of the network is clinical groups. We have many specialty groups right now. They are active on Telegram. So you can join any specialty field that you are interested in and you expect to have a residency spot in universities. So that's up to you and to your interest. We will apply the expertise from professional committees who are expert in methodologies. At the same time, the clinical groups who are expert in clinical fields. So that's the role of DRAA, to connect the people from professional research committees with the people who are knowledgeable about clinical areas. And you can also work together organically, dynamically. It's not something that everything should come to DRAA. No, that's not the way, because we want a very timely and efficient way of producing these manuscripts. So you can work organically together through your communications, through communication between the coordinators of the professional research committees with the coordinators of clinical groups. The other part of the structure is Larkin clinical programs. You know that we have 42 programs, clinical programs, active and ACGME accredited in Larkin Community Hospital. So they will support you through the connections that we provide for your projects, for your idea developing and turning your ideas into a manuscript, into a research, or into a project to improve your country health system, to improve your hospital processes, to improve your policies in your countries. So we are ready to absorb all of those ideas through this structure. And I will support you. I will support you with the investing my time on it, because I'm really passionate about mentoring all of your ideas as much as I can. And Dr. Michelle will provide higher level support for all of us. So I'd like to repeat again that all members, all active members in this Telegram channel would be contributing to research projects and to manuscripts, but the professional research committees will help and will mentor you and will assist you how to move forward in this journey. And we will have 3 elected admins who lead the network. You see right now this meeting needs planning, programming, agenda, development, and everything. So provide opportunities who works for all of us needs a leadership team. 3 elect admins by the committee coordinators would lead this structure and closely with me and Linnae and PRAA. Thank you, Sujan. I hope this helps to understand the structure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saima, for clearing things up. So now we have a better picture of how Team 11 functions. So moving forward, so now I would like to invite Dr. Arjola to have an insight on the different committees.
Thank you, Sujan. Thank you, Dr. Michelle, for providing us this network. And thank you so much, Dr. Sima, for giving us the opportunity to be part of this valuable tool to support Team 11. I'm currently one of the Team 11 administrators, but especially during this long and difficult year, I have been contributing in the one of the research group, the infectious disease group. And I very much appreciate, and I cannot wait to contribute to the next steps of this great opportunity. I'd like to go in very shortly and make an overview of the committees that Dr. Sima just mentioned as a part of the roadmap. So there are totally 10 committees. There is a triage committee, which is going to be a supervisor committee for all the rest of the committees. And also, each one of the committees has 6 members already. Up to date, there are 52 members which are actively involved, and they are with a very strong background in the communities that they are part of. Most of them they have elected actually their coordinators, committee coordinators, which are going to take care of each of their committees. And we are still working to include more people in the committees. As soon as Dr. Sima is going to share through the email another opportunity to invite more people to collaborate. But I'd like to say something. Being part of this great network during the last year, I feel that no matter if we are part of a committee or not, no matter if we are leading a team or not, important is we are contributing, we are learning, and we are mentoring others. And this is a wonderful process. So far, we have been doing so many publications, but there are much more under review in different journals, very prestigious journals. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Dr. Michelle and Dr. Sima for everything they have been doing and they are doing to support all our work during this tough year. Thank you, Sujan.
Thank you, Dr. Arjola. Thank you for clearing things up. So like Dr. Saima mentioned earlier, so regarding the committees, after the end of this today's meeting, we're gonna send another official email after our first meeting to all the Team 11 members with an overview of how Team 11 functions, and along with the surveys for the better selection of the professional for different committee members. So by the end of today, we will send the email to all the Team 11 members. So now I would like to invite Ms. Line, our research secretary for Larkin Hospital, and she is a very important person for all of us who will be coordinating with all the three bodies that we mentioned earlier. Please, Ms. Line, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Like Sujan said, thank you for the introduction. So my name is Lene Leiva. I am the Secretary of Research and Academic Affairs. So I wanted to start today's conversation also like Sujan mentioned, we will be sending an email today along with a new link for the surveys. I don't know if you guys all remember that we sent out a survey link a few weeks ago. So that's going to be open once again for everyone that has entered, and for us to be able to be more updated, weekly updates on how we are, and just to be updated with everyone's experience, and to be able to update it. So also, to start off, we have a website that's called Constant Contact, which is where everyone, when you log in and when you register into the team, all your information goes to that website. So that website has over 1,700 people right now, and in Telegram we only have like around 1,200, a little bit more than 1,200 people. So it looks like we have over 400 plus people that either had left or had, some kind of issue. So we need to update that information. It's a lot of you. So little by little, we will be updating that information. So you will also be receiving from that website a new email, just for you to either not re-register, but to just reply back stating if you're active or you're not active, just for us to be able to have a good, knowledge of who is actually active and who's not active. For our next monthly meetings, we'll be sending emails through that website directly. So that's why we're trying to be as more updated as possible. And also, Dr. Ajola also created a Google document where we will be updating also our committee members and their information. So please also be, for everyone that's in the committee and that are members of the committee, please, thank you. I know a lot of you have already filled out the Google Doc, but whoever is missing, just go ahead and try to go in and update your information as much as you can. So thank you and welcome all. We will be doing this, meeting monthly, and I hope to see everyone else, everyone that's missing that was not able to log in today. I hope to see you next time as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Line, for your amazing insight, how we should be coordinating with you to get connected with the professional teams. So now I'd like to move further. So before we conclude our meeting, now the floor is open for Q&A session. So please feel free to raise your hand and we'll take the question one by one. Thank you so much.
While we're waiting for questions, I wanted to just say that, in a group like this, when you're putting together people that come from all over the world, have different cultures, different beliefs, different religions, I think the one thing that we have to keep in mind is that, you're going to be inevitably working with people that you may not share views on, or you may or may not, feel comfortable with. And that's just a fact of life. When a lot of you are looking to become residents. When you become a resident, a doctor, after your training, you're going to be dealing with people that have views but they're going to be your patients. And so I think this is a good opportunity to kind of interact with people that may or may not necessarily agree with your point of view. But as long as we keep everything civil, I think that's what matters, respectful. You don't have to agree with anybody. But you can also select who you want to work with, and if you don't get along with somebody in particular, you don't have to work with that person. But for us, the reason I'm saying this is sometimes we get comments from some group members asking to remove this person or remove that person. We don't want to be the police. We want to be your home. So we don't want to be in a situation where we are like penalizing people or castigating them, investigating whether they insulted somebody or didn't insult somebody. Yeah, I think everybody here is a professional person and can handle these things individually. So I just want to make sure that's clear. I mean, you're welcome. If you don't want to be participating in a particular group, you can join another group. You can start another group with people that you get along with. But we just don't want to be in the middle of having to arbitrate between people. We would rather spend that precious time helping you be productive and helping you publish. One of Lini's objectives is that when you submit a paper for publication and you want to request faculty, before this, you had to contact the faculty yourself. Sometimes they would answer, sometimes they wouldn't answer. We're trying to make it like within 24 to 48 hours, you should have the faculty already have read the paper. I mean, within reason. Obviously, sometimes people are on vacation or have emergencies, but we're going to try to make it very quick because we know how important it is to you to have these publications going. So I see that we have a hand from Parth. Parth Kuman. Go ahead. You can unmute.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Dr. Michelle, Dr. Simon, Dr. Ponder, and every other team member who have presented today. It was very wonderful. It was very informative. You may find my question very unusual, but I just wanted to know in name Larkin Team 11, what 11 stands for?
So it's a good question. When we started the COVID response, we started different teams. So we started with Team 1, which was a team that was in charge of behavioral health, and it was supposed to be a support group for people that were diagnosed with COVID. And then Team 2 was the plasma donation group, and we kept growing the teams. And then up until we came up with Team 10, which was the contact tracing group. And then so it's important to note that because the creation of this team took 10 other teams before it that were people that were in this particular group now had been involved with. And then they said, so people from all the other teams, so none of those teams are still around. Contact tracing, as you know, was taken over by governments. So we only train people in contact tracing, but we don't really do contact tracing. But the only team that's remained is this team. And I think the reason it's remained is because it had a projection beyond COVID. And it was, how do we get a group of people together from all over the world who have the same purpose, a common objective, and how do we give them the resources to be productive? So, and I think that's why I think this team is going to definitely survive, and will be a, but the reason we keep calling it Team 11 is because we think the history is important, because it took 10
because
iterations.
I have also recommended a lot of people to join the Team 11, and I used to get asked by this question, like what 11, where are other 10 teams?
Yeah,
so
there were you can answer, there were other 10 teams, but this is the only team that's still around almost a year and a half later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Mish.
My pleasure.
Thank you for that's a very interesting question you put forward, and I think the team on itself is a Team 11 name is unique on itself, right? So yes, thank you so much. So if anyone else has any question, please put forward.
We're going to be posting the recording in both in our YouTube channel, which you're welcome to join. I'll share a link so you can join the the Larkin YouTube channel. There's a specific section for Team 11, so where we post all of our videos. So I'll do that, and then I'll also post a link to that on the Telegram group.
And one thing I'd like to add on top of that is like whatever the talk we have today in regards to the Google Doc, where we will be keeping track of all the projects. So we will be sharing all those links in our first official email.
I see that Shruti has an email, has a question.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So it's amazing to be a part of Team 11, and I would like to know if there is any. I'm part of a committee as well, so we would like to know what we are expected from each committee in particular, or will there be a meeting for that separately?
Yes, for committees, there will be a separate meeting. This is all kind of work in progress. So the way that all these committees were created was with the thought of how can we make the process more efficient. This may change. The committees may change. The composition of the committees. We may add more people. So it's all kind of subject to continuous improvement. Let's just say. So there will be a separate meeting to coordinate that. Someone said, how can we join different research groups? Is it like after the course link is posted? Yeah, I mean, you can either, if you have people that you know in this group and you have projects that you want to put together, you're free to do that. There's nothing to keep you from doing that. And the only thing is at the end, when you want faculty to review, just let Lini know. And Lini's on the Telegram group. And then we will be very expeditious in that. Other than that, that's part of the reason we created the roadmap, is because we were feeling that there were some people that were really organized and were just cranking out projects, but they didn't really want to spend the time sometimes bringing in new people that didn't have, the background. So that's why we have the roadmap. It's kind of for the new people. But those of you who have projects in mind and who have at least more than one person, you're welcome to post on Telegram and say, I have this idea. Does anybody want to pursue it with me? And there's nothing there's nothing to lose by bringing that up. And I'm sure you're going to get a few people saying, I'm interested. And you need to just make sure that, we want to make sure that you have the internal ability within that group to do your own peer review. Because before, what we were doing is that we were directing the peer review through the Office of Research. The problem with that is that has certain capacity. So if you have 100 projects that you want to submit, and only one person is the filter to review them, it's going to be really difficult to really publish things. And we know that you have a timeline, which is basically the next ERAS application cycle. So you want to be able to have this on your letter of recommendation. You want to have it on your CV. So this is why we kind of wanted you to develop your own abilities to do your own peer review to submit. And I mean, I think the main issue you need to be careful with is plagiarism. That's the one thing that the journals will reject, and would create a problem for other people that submit to the same journal from the same institution. So, there are programs that allow us to check for that. So I would suggest at least one of the team members should do that just to make sure, because sometimes people are great, they don't know, and they just copy and paste, and they think, it's just a sentence. But the people that do the publications have the ability to detect it. So they'll say you're just copying and pasting from someone else. So we have to make sure that everything is written originally. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Dr. Michel. Yes, please, members, if you have any further question, please feel free to raise your hand. Yes, please, Biki Kumar, please go ahead.
I have one question. Suppose I got one research project to do, And if those in our institution, to get the ethical clearance is a bit complex here. So can I get it from that IRB from the Larkin community?
Yes, you can. Just so you understand how the IRB works, they meet every 2 months. And you have to have everything ready. So one of the issues we've been having with the IRB is that people don't understand how it works. It's not necessarily you guys, but even our own residents. So they'll submit a project to the IRB and they say, oh, that means that it's going to be approved. You know, the IRB will send you a letter, email saying, these are the things you need to do. But if you don't do those things, they're not going to follow up and say, oh, I sent you an email 2 weeks ago and you didn't respond. It's just not moving. So just keep that in mind. If you submit anything to the IRB, make sure it's complete. They're going to ask for CITI certificates for each of the people that are going to be PIs, and they're going to ask for very specific information. The quicker you can turn it around, the quicker you're going to get approval. Now, I don't know if our IRB has any jurisdiction of your site, so you might want to check with the people that you're working with to make sure that if it is approved by the Larkin IRB, would they honor that and allow you to proceed? Especially if you're looking for patients in a particular institution, because they might say, no, we're not going to take an IRB from outside the country, or so. Just make sure you check that before. But we're happy to obviously do that. And one of the things we'd like to do in the future is expand our IRB committee members. So because one of the obviously it's a volunteer thing. So. And generally, most of the people cannot be employees of the hospital for obvious reasons. So they are always constantly looking for people that are experienced in research to participate in the IRB. So if anybody's interested in that opportunity, obviously, if you have the time, because obviously this is kind of the work of God. You're reviewing stuff for free to help other people. But if you do have the time and you do have the knowledge, email me. I'll post my email here, and I'll connect you with the IRB so that if it opens up anytime it opens up, you can be considered for inclusion in the IRB.
Thank you, Dr. Michel. If anyone else has any other question, please feel free to raise your hand.
I'm going to read a couple of questions. Could there be guidance put in place for newcomers with no experience, like reading lists, so that they don't feel like they have no idea where to start and can go self-improvement while waiting to participate in groups? Absolutely. I mean, I think this is the purpose of the CITI certifications, but I think we can expound on that. I think the question that what we've struggled with is, what can we offer that doesn't have a cost attached to it? Because then obviously we don't want to be suggesting things that then you have to find out that it costs $300 for the course or something. So we're trying to always find things that are no cost to you. I know that Dr. Edmundo has been doing his mini talks and research, which are free, and there are other opportunities out there. We probably, one of the work that some of the committees need to do is to formalize that a little bit. So in addition to the CITI course, what else can you do? So that's a very good question. Yeah, and I agree, Michael. Yes, absolutely. I mean, being a member of an IRB committee is something you can put in your CV. But obviously, you have to have the time and the dedication for it, because you can't serve for a month. It's usually, 1 or 2-year term appointments. I see that the mini talks were very helpful. I know Dr. Edmundo did a great job. Actually, I don't know if Dr. Edmundo, if you're here, if you want to say something about the mini talk. I know there's one on Saturday.
Thank you very much for joining the board, Yeah, a couple of lines about the mini talks. It's been a successful scholarly activity. This first season is going to finish this weekend with the 4th scheduled mini talk, right? It has been a good chance for us to test the commitment, the level of commitment, the interest, and we are going to prepare. We have already almost ready a final report with many details, of technical details about this, and whether or not to plan a second season soon or how soon, what to change, what to improve. Good news on this. But I had a question for Dr. Sima, if you don't mind. Is it specifically to the, would it be possible to go to the roadmap, please? Just 2 seconds for the people to understand my question. Or Dr. Sima, please. When you describe that everything starts with an idea that one person or a group of persons has, and they propose the main idea, a raw idea, right? In a preliminary way. This goes through the triage committee for the preliminary review, right? For preliminary considerations. And there are going to be sub-teams, specialized sub-teams to help out to develop the idea, right? To give shape to the idea. Because all or 99.99% of the cases we need, for not saying 100 of the cases, we need a research protocol, whatever the type of research is, right? Who's going to work on that? Because not if 1 or 2 persons from Team 11, they don't necessarily know how to do a research protocol, and this is not a one-page document, as you know. So the people from each sub-team is going to be in charge of prepare that. They're going to work in preparing that, or they're going to mentor directly or guide directly the people that propose it, the main idea, the initial idea. Sounds like a naive question, an obvious question, but I would like for you to stress out on this, please, if it's possible.
Thank you, Dr. Edmundo, for asking this question. It was important, so I forgot to explain it, and you explained it in better way. So that was really good question. When the idea came to triage committee introduced the idea and passed it on to the committees. But we need people from active members of the Team 11 to connect them with this project. So there are other people to join with the project, and then we will finalize it with the chief residents who are responsible for their scholarly activities, and they will join the team. So this is a combination of idea developers, active team members that are experienced on that topic or not. So we want to include in each project team at least 1 less experienced person to mentor them and to prepare them for the next projects. So that's a mentoring hierarchy, that the less experienced people, the less experienced members of the Team 11 would be mentored by the other persons who are joining the project team. So that's a combination. Because of that, I told earlier that all of team members would contribute, would participate and attend in project teams. And at the end of the journey, we will add the members from chief residents, from research liaisons, from faculties to help any project in the earlier phase of the project, not at the end of that, just to review the manuscript. So that's a kind of considering the ethical values of the research, to have all of team members, all of project team members at the earliest phase of the project when you design the research protocol. So that's important to us, to join, to connect everyone at that phase, even if they are only informed of your activities. For example, a chief resident who doesn't have enough time to work with you, to help you, but he's informed of any production, revisions, and how the project will go forward. Or a faculty who doesn't have adequate time to work with you, but he's aware of it, they are informed of your progress with the project and will help you if you need any support. That's the plan. Does it make sense?
Yeah, but thank you.
There's a question about how many groups people can join, if there's a maximum number. You know, we haven't wanted to put a limit on how many groups you can join, because obviously some people have more time or just have more ability than other people. So we don't want to be imposing a number, but the only thing we want to say is if you're going to sign up for groups, make sure that you have the time to contribute. Like you shouldn't be signing up for a group and then you just disappear and you just sign up for 10 groups to see what happens. So you should always keep in mind that, you know, you should not sign up for anything that you're not, you don't have time for. So I would suggest don't sign up for too many groups, because obviously you're not going to have the time to move on the projects. Generally, what we're looking to do is moving these projects in 2-3 weeks. So, you know, you really shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 groups at a time, because otherwise you're just not going to have the time.
And it totally depends, Doctor, on the load of work in any project. So when we have 1-pager and then 2-pager and 2-pager, we would have a projection of the load of work and how many people are needed and what would be their role. It's important to know who coordinates, who manages the time, who access or search the literature and provide the draft or everything. So that's important to bring all of things in 2-pagers to have a projection of load of work and team members. And it's totally different among different projects based on the load of tasks and activities that is needed.
I see a question from Vicky Kumar about how do we know what projects are out there? The thing is, most of the projects that are currently going on are already capped. So usually what happens is somebody posts on the Telegram group, I have this opportunity, and then they create a group, and within a few minutes, they already have capacity. So that's why there's no list of projects, because basically there are like 20 projects going on or 30 projects going on, but they're all kind of already capped by the number of attendees. So just if you're looking for new projects, the best way would be right now would be on the Telegram group. Also, if you sign up for a subject area, like a particular specialty, you can contact the team leader for that specialty and ask if they have anything else. I say, how do you also encourage members of a group to become active in research in case residents cannot feed ideas or projects? Absolutely. I mean, I think the group members can come up with their own ideas. I think the best way, like I said, is through the Team 11 chat. Sorry about my dogs. I saw there's a question from Dr. Kumar about your research elective idea. Can you elaborate on that, Dr. Kumar? If you're still in the meeting?
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Michelle. Thank you so much for giving. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. So my idea is that just like John Hopkins have a research elective program, can we at Larkin design a program where in person the medical students can sign up for in-person electives, and that to research.
So right now, I think Dr. Seema has a process where she has research fellows, but those fellows are supposed to commit for at least a year, right, Dr. Seema?
Yes, 6 months or 1 year available time to work with us.
Now the question, I mean, he has a good question about if medical students wanted to come in on site to do research, not to do a rotation in the electives in the hospital, but just to do research. Can we set up a program where the fellows can work with the students and then maybe they can come for a 1-month elective just for research?
Right now, we have 2 opportunities for working inside. The first one is elective rotation of residents here to develop their proposal and enter their program strongly. The other is research fellowship for IMGs who have available time to work with us directly. So that's an opportunity with the role description and an application form that would be available for all of you to apply for that position. Then let us know how we can communicate with you and how we can assist you. We will have an interview after and we work together, because that's a great opportunity for us to train people in a directly communication and training and mentoring their projects and providing letter of recommendation at the end of that.
Yeah, I think what he means is shorter rotations, right, Dr. Kumar? That's what you meant, right? Like a 1 month, like an elective type of rotation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 4 weeks. Like John Hopkins currently have the research electives due to COVID. They have just paused it for a few months, but they used to have these 4 months electives where we can sign up for elective and go with any professor who's doing research in John Hopkins, and so I was thinking of it making up for for only for medical students, like third year, fourth year, final year medical students who are maybe IMGs, who are maybe in US. So yeah.
Maybe if you can share that information with Dr. Seema and myself via email, that'd be great. And then maybe we'll put the team together to work on that.
We will provide opportunity for medical students and also the residents and also IMGs. So we have all of these options.
Okay, Sandra is asking about a template. Is there going to be a template on how to present the ideas? That's a good question, whether it should be a 1-pager or 2 pages. Like, what do you think about Dr. Seema?
Right now, we have 2 templates. One of them is relevant to quality improvement based on the PDSA methodology. So that's a template right now available for you. And Linnea, we can put it in your Telegram channel for access of all people. But the other one is a short proposal that is only 1 page, a summary of your ideas about the research. But I intentionally don't want to put you in a framework, That's a kind of initiative thinking, critical thinking, and having your format through your critical thinking and your approach to the research. So you can provide your own format, a format that right now you're working with in your universities, in your workplace, but we will provide you a template as well.
Sujan, you wanted to propose one idea?
Thank you so much, sir. So it's regarding to the earlier ideas, like how we gonna appoint members for the different projects. So what's our ideas, our past experience in that is like, because we have a lot of people who are kind of new people and the old people who has been in the system since a long time. So what we have been doing, I mean, in terms of neurology, what I have been implementing is like, we have one Google Doc where we will be keeping a record of all the members who joined earlier to up to date. And based on that data, we appoint people by putting a poll on experienced and unexperienced people, making a list of those people for our specific group. And then we will systematically take people who registered to our system way earlier to up to date, so that it will be fair enough for all the people to get involved in different projects. So I think if we just adapt the same ideas to different specialty, like forming a Google Doc and where we'll be putting the information of every members and like picking up the members systematically. So I think that would be easy for all of us. And another thing I'd like to put forward is like, in terms of the training, if we, a person who is leading a specific group, if they can form, organize one workshop to have an overview of how research articles should be written. I think that would be easy for all of us because we have so many new people, and sometimes because of the time constraint, we might miss the training. For example, like Dr. Edmundo is providing us. So if we just have one workshop for our specific group, I think that would be useful for all of us. And in regards to the limit, how many members should limit to what is specific groups, I think that solely depend upon what our interest on as a future resident. For example, like I'm interested in neuro and psych, so I'm only been involved in the projects that are neuro and psych oriented. I think we'll have a better insight. Like for example, if somebody want to go for family medicine or ops kind, I think we have to specifically follow that particular specialty to redirect our application towards the specialty we want to go for.
And actually, Arhola is suggesting the same thing, that after the application season is over, that the team leads can collaborate to offer a short Zoom meeting, practical training for all members in their groups to help everyone be on the same page. I think that's a great idea.
Because Dr. Michel.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because Dr. Michel, during this year, we have like working, mentoring all, many of us in the team, most of us, people who have been like mentoring others, we are sharing the same problems and we are experiencing the same issues and concerns. So I was thinking that maybe we can invite each other in our meetings and we can offer to our teams like short Zoom meetings, even 1 hour, just to go over a manuscript writing or a poster like presentation, and to share with them what they should do and what they shouldn't do. This would be in the long term, I mean, not in that long term, but it is going to be helpful in the upcoming project for everyone.
That sounds great. Yeah, I think we should do that. Mona is asking whether the monthly meeting could be Saturday or Sunday, to give a chance for everyone to attend. I'll defer that to Dr. Marzban. I know that you've set it up for the first Wednesday of every month, currently at noon, right?
Yes. Every month, the first Wednesday, we will have this meeting and we will update the information and the announcement and ask you about your ideas and opinions and reflections so that we can improve the processes within our teamwork collaboration.
So I think maybe for now, we'll keep it, Mona, we'll keep it this way, and then let's see how it works and what attendance we get. And then, so this meeting will occur the first Wednesday of every month. I just want to make sure that it's continued. Then we could probably, in the future, depending on what feedback we get from the rest of the group members, decide whether we should move it to a weekend or not. I think weekends are positive and negative because some people can't do weekends. So that would be, yeah. Go ahead, Gina. You raise your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that when we carry a project, a specific article writing, then the members who are in the team, they are very new. We need to teach them at every stage of the article writing, from what to do and what not to do, as Arjola has said. But I strongly believe that only one session to start the project is not enough, because they need a guidance at every stage of the article. So I think it should be recurrent mentoring sessions or a workshop that they need, because sometimes like one group is going on, second week the other group starts, third week the other group starts. So that session taken for the first group, second group is not there at that time. So it's kind of a repetition, or else there is like that I have keep doing the repetitions for every other group. So we need to find out a thing that has like recorded stuff or something that will be helpful and time saving for everyone, and as well as the new members get the idea how we should progress ahead, because they are totally new to the research projects.
And I just want to say also keep in mind, this is all work in progress. I'm sure that we're going to look at this a year from now and say, oh my God, can you believe we were operating that way? That was crazy. Now we have all these things in place that, that are making it better and better. So, let's not give up. I mean, just the fact that I think my main goal was to keep you all together, to keep you all engaged. And because I think that's number one, for everybody to become engaged. And then the next step is to improve and to improve. And also, I've tried to also take the negativity out, like from interpersonal issues, to just remove that, because if, otherwise it's like poisoning the water. So we want to have a positive relationship. So we want to, if you're not happy in a particular team, move to another team, create your own team. Because it'll be good for everybody. It doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong. At the end of the day, everybody has the same goals. Arhola, you raise your hand?
Dr. Michel, no, I just wanted to respond to Jinal's concern. What we have been doing in order to address that issue is that we decrease the number of unexperienced members in our groups, in the small groups. This way, they learn by exposure, because as you said, they need many trainings in order to get ready to properly work. But if you put them to learn by exposure, and if they have a mentor to teach them what to do and what not to do, they are going to learn much more during that project rather than during a few workshops. So maybe you can try that. It worked for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? I don't want to extend it too long. Sujan, do we have anything else?
As a summary, what I'd like to brief the today's meeting is as Dr. Shaima had mentioned earlier. So we're gonna send the email to every one of Team 11 members, including the link of all the projects that we are undergoing, along with the surveys that we have, because we are still in the primitive phase of electing the committee members. Because we want to increase the more specialized committee members in each specific field. So that's the next step we're gonna do, and over time we're gonna select more better candidate for a specific group and keep on improving on ourselves.
One thing I want to add is, feel free to involve even the faculty, from your medical schools. Like if you have faculty in your medical school, even though you graduated some time ago or whatever, you want to contact them and say, do you want to be a part of this group? I don't think there's any downside to that, because some of those people actually do have experience, and they may even have connections within regional connections that could help us with public health issues. So I think that's a great idea, is to reach out to your mentors also and ask them to be a part of it. I know that some people have, and those have been actually one of our strongest members, because they've several faculty members from all over the world are very involved in some of the teams right now, as it is.
Yes, that's a great idea, sir. Anybody has any other question? We are almost to the end of the session, so please, if you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand. There is a question in the chat box. Is there any possibility to get LOR based on our performance? Thank you for giving us the opportunity to grow as professionals.
No, absolutely. That's you're doing this for two reasons. One is to get a publication in your CV so that your residency applications are stronger, and the second reason is to get a very strong letter of recommendation. What we try to do to make it fair is that we try to get as much information as possible on what your activities were. So we make it very personalized, like time frames, activity, because we want the letter of recommendation to have a value to you. And the only way for that, if we just make up the same letter for everybody, oh, they're a Team 11 member, they're great, we go in a lot more detail than that. And I think that's what a lot of your team members matched into programs outside of the hospital because of that. I think because we were very specific about the work that they did and how they did it. So yes, absolutely. We will make sure that, and we do, We do provide those LORs very quickly. We have a team that helps me with that, Farah Johan and also Jennifer. And they talk to you, they get the accurate information, they confirm everything to make sure that whatever we're writing is correct. And obviously, if you're a member of a committee or if you're a member of any leadership team, the key can add that to your LOR, of course. That makes perfect sense.
Just to mention the point that we will have peer evaluation as well. So it will help us to know more about how is the interactions inside the committees with the other members. So commitment to the values, scientific interactions, and helping others, and mentoring and timely responsiveness would be a part of that peer evaluation. And it has a role in writing the letter of recommendation, because you know the letter of recommendation has a professional part. How did you contribute to your research project? And the other part is how you played your role in a teamwork. So that's really important to anybody who can provide a position for you to know about your behavioral strengths. That's the other point that I'd like to mention it here.
To which faculty member do you send the letter request? Basically to whoever you want the recommendation from. If you don't have their email, you can use my email and then I'll forward it to them. But it's for whoever you worked with, and then we will work with that faculty member to make sure that the process is very simple, so that they don't have to write the letter on their own, but we'll help them put it together. Well, one thing is, I know Lenny is requested to transfer to some of the residency programs. So actually for student coordinator. And so Dr. Seema is looking for someone to take over her her function. She's going to continue to work with us until hopefully we'll find a replacement. So if any of you who are local are looking for work, obviously that's a full-time job. It's basically working in the Department of Research. Or if you know anyone that will be qualified, because this person is going to be key to Team 11 because they're going to be working directly with you. So if you know anyone local that meets the qualifications, obviously we don't want anyone that's already that is applying for a residency in the next year or two, because obviously we want someone we want to have some continuity in the position. So preferably somebody who's not about to apply to a residency program. But Dr. Marzban is looking for that right now.
Thank you, Dr. Michel. I think we are at the end of our first meeting today. So if we have any leftover question, please feel free to send an email to Dr. Michel and Dr. Marzban so it can be addressed well. So thank you everyone for coming up in our today's meeting. It was a very fruitful one-to-one interaction for all of us, and this will further strengthen the bonding that we have as a team, and we all are looking forward to collaborate with each other to meet the short and long-term goal of our organization. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.